You're out for a walk on a beautiful afternoon, maybe enjoying time with the grandkids, when suddenly a familiar sensation starts, an ache in your calves. It's not the satisfying ache of a good workout, but a deep, uncomfortable pain. You might brush it off, thinking you're just getting older, or maybe you've been on your feet a little too long. But what if I told you that some of the very foods you've been enjoying for years could be quietly cutting off the lifeline your legs depend on? Foods that, over time, can damage your nerves, quietly narrow your blood vessels, and in the most extreme, heartbreaking cases, lead to tissue death, what doctors call necrosis. Necrosis isn't just a scary medical term. It's a tragic reality that occurs when parts of your body stop getting the vital blood and oxygen they need to survive. For your legs, this can mean persistent, severe pain, infections that simply refuse to heal, and in the worst scenarios, the unthinkable, amputation. The most shocking part? The dangerous road to tissue damage often doesn't start with a fall or an injury. It starts right in your kitchen. I'm Dr. Hassam, and this is Dr. Hassam-Senior Health Hub. Today, we're going to uncover 7 everyday foods that may be slowly pushing your legs toward that dangerous tipping point. This information is vital for anyone who values their mobility, their independence, and their ability to keep walking strong and pain-free. If your legs matter to you, I urge you to stay with me until the very end. Let's protect the legs that have carried you through a lifetime of memories. Let's begin with our first culprit, a breakfast favorite with a dangerously rich secret: bacon. Oh, I know. Just the sound of it sizzling can make your mouth water. That smoky aroma drifting through the kitchen on a lazy Sunday morning feels like comfort itself. But here's the honest truth. As delicious as it is, bacon is a double punch against your leg circulation, loaded with both sodium and saturated fat. Let's break down the damage. First, sodium. Too much salt forces your body to retain extra water, which dramatically raises your blood pressure. When your blood pressure stays high, your arteries, those delicate tubes delivering life-giving blood, start to harden and narrow. Think of it like constantly overpressurizing a garden hose until the walls become stiff and brittle. Now, add in the saturated fat. This type of fat has a nasty habit of sticking to the inside of those stiffened artery walls, leading to the buildup of plaque. Over time, that narrowing, that clogging of your leg arteries, is what doctors call peripheral artery disease, or PAD. When PAD occurs in the legs, it means less blood, less oxygen, and less healing power getting to your muscles, skin, and toes. You might notice this as cramping in your calves when you walk a short distance, a symptom called claudication. You might find your feet feel colder than everyone else's, or you might have small nicks or cuts on your toes that take forever to heal. Research published by the American Heart Association confirms that regular consumption of processed meats like bacon is linked to higher rates of vascular disease. And in severe cases, this poor blood flow can be the first step towards serious tissue damage and necrosis. Am I telling you to give up bacon forever? Absolutely not. Life's too short, but it's worth moving it from a daily habit to a rare treat. For that savory morning kick, try lower sodium turkey bacon, or better yet, swap it for a slice of whole grain toast with heart-healthy avocado. You'll still get a rich, satisfying bite, but with fats that help keep your blood moving freely. And speaking of salty, fatty favorites that can quietly sabotage your legs, here is another classic you'll find at summer cookouts and quick lunches: hot dogs. They look innocent enough, tied to those happy memories of ball games and family picnics. But beneath that nostalgia is a potent mix of ingredients that can quietly wage war against the very blood vessels that feed your legs. Hot dogs are a prime example of a processed meat, and that means they're often packed with preservatives like sodium nitrite. While these help give hot dogs their familiar color and flavor, they can unfortunately create compounds in your body that damage the delicate lining of your arteries. When the lining of your arteries is damaged, it becomes stiffer and more prone to narrowing and plaque buildup. This makes it significantly harder for blood to flow smoothly down to your calves, ankles, and toes. Just like with bacon, the high sodium content in hot dogs adds strain to your circulatory system by elevating blood pressure. But there's a worse offender here: trans fats. Many hot dogs contain the kind of fats that not only raise your bad LDL cholesterol, but also lower your good HDL cholesterol. Think of HDL as the body's cleanup crew, sweeping plaque away. Lowering HDL while increasing LDL is like removing the garbage trucks from your neighborhood while doubling the trash. Sooner or later, things get clogged. When the arteries in your legs get clogged, walking becomes painful, and healing from even small injuries slows down to a crawl. The Harvard School of Public Health has clearly linked regular consumption of processed meats to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. And remember, your legs rely on that healthy cardiovascular flow just as much as your heart does. If hot dogs are a tradition, look for nitrate-free versions or switch to grilling leaner options like low-sodium chicken or turkey sausages. Pair them with a side of fresh veggies instead of salty chips. Your legs will absolutely feel the difference. And if you think a hot dog is the worst offender, wait until you hear about a crispy, golden comfort food that's hiding a particularly nasty surprise for your circulation: French fries. Whether they come from a fast food drive-thru or are homemade, fries have a way of making any meal feel more indulgent. But the major problem is how most are prepared. They become tiny delivery trucks for fats that are especially harmful to your blood vessels. Many commercial kitchens and fast food chains reuse their frying oil multiple times. Over time, that oil breaks down and creates a massive amount of trans fats. We've talked about these before. They're the kind of fat that clogs up your arteries faster than almost anything else. Trans fats increase the bad cholesterol and decrease the good cholesterol that keeps your arteries clean. This means those crunchy fries can, over time, make it agonizingly difficult for blood to move down to your legs, slowly starving your muscles and skin of the oxygen and nutrients they desperately need. And let's not forget the salt. A medium order of fast food fries can contain well over 250 milligrams of sodium, and most of us don't stop at one portion. That extra sodium raises blood pressure, adding immense stress to your already vulnerable arteries. The result is poorer circulation, a higher risk of peripheral artery disease, and symptoms like pain, numbness, and dramatically slowed healing. The American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has published findings showing that diets high in fried foods are absolutely linked to a higher risk of circulation problems. Since your legs are at the furthest end of your circulatory system, they are often the first to suffer when blood flow is reduced. Moderation is key. If you're making them at home, try baking or air frying them with heart-healthy oils like olive or avocado oil. And instead of reaching for the salt shaker, season them generously with herbs and spices like rosemary, paprika, or garlic powder for that satisfying kick. But fries aren't the only comfort food that can quietly drain the life from your legs. Sometimes the culprit isn't salty or greasy at all. It's sweet, fizzy, and hiding in plain sight: soda. That fizzy, sweet pick-me-up that many of us reach for without a second thought. But the main culprit inside, that bubbly sweetness, can quietly harm your legs in a way the other foods haven't. It attacks your nerves. The main offender is sugar, and lots of it. A single 12-ounce can of soda can contain 30 to 40 grams of sugar. That's like dumping 8 to 10 teaspoons straight into your bloodstream in minutes. When your blood sugar spikes repeatedly over time, it can directly damage the delicate nerves in your legs and feet. This condition is called peripheral neuropathy. This nerve damage can cause a terrifying mix of symptoms: numbness, tingling, burning pain, or even a complete loss of sensation. A loss of sensation is incredibly dangerous because it makes it much harder to notice small cuts, blisters, or injuries before they become serious infections. High sugar intake also contributes to insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes, a major risk factor for both poor circulation and nerve damage. A long-term study published in Diabetologia found that people who regularly drink sugary beverages have a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. bringing with it all the serious leg health problems that follow. Try replacing soda with sparkling water that has a splash of real fruit juice for flavor, or unsweetened iced tea with a slice of lemon. You still get that refreshing sip without the destructive blood sugar roller coaster. Even cutting back from one soda a day to just a few per week can make a real, protective difference over time. And while soda's sweetness can damage your nerves, there's another everyday food that harms your legs in a quieter but equally dangerous way by spiking your blood sugar almost as fast, even though it doesn't taste sweet at all: white bread. It's soft, comforting, and a base for so many meals. But that fluffy, light texture comes from refined flour, which has been stripped of its essential fiber and most of its nutrients. Without that fiber to slow digestion, your body breaks white bread down into glucose almost instantly. This sudden, immediate spike in blood sugar isn't just bad for people with diabetes. It's tough on everyone. Repeated blood sugar surges can seriously damage the small, tiny blood vessels that feed your legs and feet. Over time, that damage makes it much harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach your tissues, dramatically slowing healing and significantly increasing your risk of dangerous infections. If you already have any circulation issues, white bread can quietly make them worse without you even realizing it. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that diets high in refined carbohydrates are linked to higher risks of poor vascular health. Remember, your legs are at the far end of your circulatory system. They're often the first to show signs of trouble when your blood flow isn't at its best. This is one of the easiest swaps you can make. Switch white bread for whole grain or sprouted grain bread. These options are packed with fiber, which slows sugar absorption, keeps your energy steady, and provides a protective effect for your blood vessels. If you're making toast, add a protein or healthy fat like peanut butter or avocado to make it even more leg-friendly. I know it feels almost cruel to point the finger at something so tied to happy moments. A scoop after Sunday dinner, a cone on a hot summer afternoon. Ice cream isn't just dessert, it's a memory maker. But here's the tricky part. It's a double hit to your circulation and leg health thanks to its devastating combination of sugar and saturated fat. That creamy sweetness comes from a high amount of added sugars, which send your blood sugar soaring, just like soda or white bread. Over time, those repeated spikes damage the nerves and the small blood vessels in your legs and feet, leading to all the familiar dangers: numbness, slower healing, and in severe cases, open sores that refuse to close. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, that damage can happen even faster. Then there's the saturated fat. Ice cream is made with cream and often with added butterfat for richness. Saturated fats raise the LDL, bad, cholesterol, the kind that clogs arteries, and lower the HDL, good, cholesterol, which cleans them out. When your arteries narrow, especially in the legs, it becomes extremely difficult for blood to get through. That reduced circulation means your muscles tire faster, injuries heal slower, and your risk of peripheral artery disease climbs. Research in the British Journal of Nutrition shows that diets high in both added sugars and saturated fats significantly increase cardiovascular risk. And remember, your heart and your legs are connected through the exact same network of blood vessels. You can still enjoy this. The key is treating it like a special occasion, not a permanent roommate in your freezer. Try much smaller portions or choose options made with lower fat dairy or plant-based milks. You could also try making nice cream from blended frozen bananas, which is naturally sweet, creamy, and free of added sugar or unhealthy fats. Now, let's open the freezer and talk about the hero of lazy nights: frozen pizza. Just heat the oven, pop it in, and dinner is served. But while frozen pizza might save you time, it can cost your legs more than you realize. For starters, frozen pizza is a massive sodium heavyweight. One person-sized pie can easily pack over 1,200 milligrams of sodium, more than half of what the American Heart Association recommends for the entire day. All that salt dangerously pushes your blood pressure up which over time stresses and permanently damages the arteries that feed your legs and feet. Then there's the fat, not just the saturated fat from the cheese and processed meats, but often trans fats hidden in the crust and toppings. These fats clog your arteries and lower your good cholesterol, just like bacon and fries do. That narrowing of your blood vessels makes it harder for oxygen-rich blood to reach your lower limbs, which can cause pain, fatigue, and even slower healing after just a small scrape. But the danger doesn't stop there. Many frozen pizzas are full of additives and preservatives to extend their shelf life. Some of these can trigger inflammation in the body, which further harms blood vessels and slows your circulation. It's a slow, silent process. You might not notice the effects until you find yourself short of breath after just a short walk, or your feet feel constantly cold, no matter how warm the room is. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology linked diets high in ultra-processed foods like frozen pizza to significantly higher rates of vascular disease. If it affects your heart, it affects your legs, too. If pizza night is a tradition, you don't have to give it up entirely. Try making your own with a whole grain crust, fresh vegetables, and lean protein. You'll drastically cut down on sodium, bad fats, and additives, and still get all the cheesy satisfaction you love. So, there you have it. 7 foods that may seem harmless, even comforting, but can quietly weaken your legs and their vital blood flow over time. The truth is, our choices at the table ripple all the way down to our toes. Every bite either helps keep our steps strong or makes it harder for our legs to carry us through the moments we love. The wonderful news is that you don't have to give up everything you enjoy. Small changes, a swap here, a lighter portion there, can be incredibly powerful. They can protect your circulation, strengthen your muscles, and keep you moving freely for years to come. Think of it this way. Your legs have carried you through decades of life's journeys, from first dances to family vacations. They deserve a little care and mindful nutrition in return. Maybe this week, skip the soda and pour a tall glass of water with lemon. Swap the white bread for something whole grain. Treat ice cream like a sweet guest, not a permanent, every night roommate. And most importantly, remember that you are in control. Every mindful choice is a step toward more mornings spent walking without pain, more afternoons in the garden, and more evenings dancing in the kitchen. Your legs can still take you anywhere you want to go. You just have to give them the right fuel. If you found this helpful and you want to protect your legs, please subscribe to Dr. Hassam-Senior Health Hub so you don't miss our next life-saving tips. And be sure to share this with a friend who could use a gentle nudge. Thank you for watching, and here's to many more years of strong, pain-free walking.